It was supposed to be the most amazing of occasions. The Jewish people are on the threshold of entering the land of Israel after 40 years of wandering in the desert. Can you imagine standing there, about to enter, your lifelong dream realized? But the Jewish people then request to send in spies to do a reconnaissance of the land of Israel. They go in and they come back with a damaging report. The Jewish people cry bitterly, how can we enter? How can we beat the giants that inhabit the land now? The Almighty comes and says, you cried tonight for no reason. I'm going to give you this night as a night to cry for all eternity. And indeed, that was, of course, the night of Tisha B'Av, the 9th day of Av, a night in which both temples were destroyed and numerous other calamities befell the Jewish people. But if you think about it, there was another calamity that happened prior to that, which should seem even worse. And that was after they exit Egypt, they come to the mountain. They're getting the Torah, the blueprint for living, the instruction book for all of humanity. And we know that Moses descends with the tablets of the law in his hand, and he sees at the bottom of the mountain the Jewish people are dancing around a golden calf which they had created and were worshiping. Moses smashes the tablets, he goes back up to heaven, comes back with a new set of tablets 40 days later, which is Yom Kippur, and the Jewish people are forgiven for that mistake. They march on in the desert. How can this be? How can the Jewish people hear a report from 12 people, and that night becomes a night of destruction and wailing forever, but worshiping an idol, removing God, forgetting about Him, denying His existence, and attributing all powers to this golden idol? The rabbis even tell us they attributed the miracle of the Exodus to that idol. That they were forgiven almost immediately and they were able to move on? How could this be? My teacher, Rabbi Berkowitz, says an incredible answer. He says, idolatry was a mistake. It's a terrible mistake. But that, you can repent, you can fix that up. That's a mindset. It's a mistake in thinking for the moment, perhaps. But what did the spies do? They came back with a report. Now, if you read the report, everything that they state as what they observed was true. There were giants in the land, there was fortresses, the people looked invincible. All these were factually and objectively true facts. But their conclusion was, we cannot conquer the land. How could that be? God promised it to them. And the Almighty says, now I see the problem. You have a negative attitude, a self-defeating attitude. When a person walks around with a self-defeating negative attitude, that's almost worse than idolatry. It is worse than idolatry, the Torah is telling us. Because that will affect everything around you, your peers, your colleagues, your friends, your community, your shul. And that is a sin that magnifies and rolls over into every possible thing that you touch. The Almighty said, Israel is for you, the land is for you. I'm going to give you the beautiful land of Israel. You don't have permission to speak badly about it. And even though you come back with true facts, your conclusion that you can't attain it, you can't conquer it, I promise you, you're going to conquer it. It happened because they had self-negativity and they were self-defeating. And walking around with a negative attitude, that is so destructive, that is so hurtful, and that is worse than idolatry. The Almighty said, I can't change that. You worship the wrong God, I can forgive you for that. That's a mistake, which you'll fix. But to walk around with this negative, defeatist attitude, I can't fix that. And so that's the reality of this day forever on Tisha B'Av. As we go back to normal life, and I'm thrilled to welcome everyone back to Minyan this week at our Ner Israel location at Coltrane. Let's keep this in mind. We've been able to focus on ourselves and our families and keep proper distancing, but now I think a challenge will come. We're going to be grouped together, we're going to be praying together, we're going to be a little suspicious, perhaps a little nervous, and that's okay. But just remember, a negative defeatist attitude can be worse than idolatry, as we see from the sin of the spies. Let's join together in love and brotherhood and excitement at this new stage of coming back to our Judaism and learn the lessons of the spies. Be positive, be encouraging, help others grow. Negative, defeatist attitudes can only harm and destroy. Looking forward to seeing you all soon in a positive, beautiful atmosphere of growth, learning, and joy. Shabbat Shalom.